are standing on zero. The number in your bank account might be a zero or close to it. The inheritance you're expecting is zero. The lucky break you've been waiting for has added up to zero. And the feeling in the pit of your stomach is one of deep, profound anxiety. You work hard. You pay your bills. You do what you're supposed to do. But at the end of the month, you are right back where you started, on zero. And you look at the world, at the people who seem to have it all, and you ask yourself a question that echoes in the quiet of the night. How is it even possible? How can anyone build wealth from nothing? The world has sold you a complex and intimidating story about wealth. It's a story filled with confusing financial jargon, Wall Street wizards, and an underlying message that if you weren't born into it, or you don't have a six-figure salary, then the game is not for you. That story is a lie. It is a lie designed to keep you a compliant consumer, a perpetual debtor, forever running on the hamster wheel of a paycheck-to-paycheck existence. Wealth is not an event. It is not a lottery ticket. It is not an inheritance. Wealth is a process. It is a system. It is a set of simple, fundamental principles applied with unwavering consistency over time. It is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned. Starting from nothing is not your disadvantage. It is your greatest asset. You have no bad investments to unwind. You have no complex portfolio to manage. You have a clean slate. You have the hunger that a comfortable person can never understand. And you have this audiobook. This is your blueprint. This is the step-by-step, no excuses guide to building a fortress of financial freedom, starting with the very ground you stand on today. We will not talk about complex trading strategies. We will not use jargon designed to make you feel stupid. We will talk about the raw, unsexy, and brutally effective truth of how wealth is actually built. It is built not on what you earn, but on what you keep. It is built not in moments of genius, but in decades of discipline. It is built by transforming your mindset from that of a consumer to that of an owner. Most people will hear this and tune out. It's not exciting enough. It doesn't promise instant riches. The 99% will go back to buying lottery tickets and hopping for a raise. But you are not most people. You are here because you are ready for the truth. You are ready to stop being a victim of your financial circumstances and become the architect of your financial destiny. This is your first step. This is your declaration of independence. The principles in this audiobook are the foundation for a life of wealth and freedom. To ensure you stay on this path and continue to receive the hard-hitting truths you need to win, subscribe to this channel right now. Don't be part of the 99% who consume information and do nothing. Be the 1% who commits, acts, and transforms their reality. Subscribe now and let's begin the work. And if you find value by the end of this video, please leave a meaningful comment to keep motivating us to make content like this. Chapter 1: The Foundation, Your Wealth Mindset. Before we talk about a single dollar, before we discuss budgets or investments or debt, we must begin at the absolute source. We must begin with the 6 inches between your ears. Your financial life today is a perfect reflection of your internal money mindset. Your bank account is a mirror, showing you the sum total of your beliefs, your habits, and your assumptions about wealth. If you attempt to build a skyscraper of wealth on a foundation of a poor person's mindset, it will inevitably collapse. The 99% believe that their primary financial problem is a lack of income. If only I made more money, they say, all my problems would be solved. This is the foundational lie that keeps them trapped. You have seen it yourself. A person gets a raise and within months their lifestyle has inflated to match it, and they are just as broke as they were before, only with more expensive problems. This is because their mindset is a container, and no matter how much income you pour into a leaky bucket, it will always end up empty. Building wealth from nothing begins with forging a new container, a new mindset. It is the single most important step in this entire process. This mindset is built on a few core, non-negotiable principles. The first principle is this: you must shift from being a consumer to being an owner. From the moment you were born, you have been programmed to be a world-class consumer. Every advertisement, every social pressure, every cultural message has been designed to convince you that the path to happiness is through spending. You are not a citizen, you are a consumer. Your identity is tied to what you buy: the car, the clothes, the phone. A consumer's primary financial activity is spending. An owner's primary financial activity is acquiring assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. The 99% spend their lives acquiring liabilities they think are assets: the fancy car, the oversized house, the latest gadgets. The winner, the wealth builder, focuses their energy and their resources on acquiring assets: stocks, real estate, a business, things that generate income for them while they sleep. This is not just a semantic difference. It is a complete reversal of your life's financial orientation. You must begin to see every dollar that comes into your hand not as something to be spent, but as a soldier you can deploy into your army of assets. The second principle is embracing delayed gratification. Our entire society is built on the promise of instant gratification. Buy now, pay later. Watch it now on demand. Get it delivered in an hour. This has trained your brain to crave immediate rewards and to have a very low tolerance for any kind of waiting or discomfort. Wealth, however, is built exclusively on the principle of delayed gratification. It is the ability to say no to the small pleasure today in order to have a much greater freedom tomorrow. It is the discipline to plant a seed and have the patience to water it, nurture it, and wait for it to grow into a mighty tree, while everyone else is eating the fruit they bought at the store. Every time you choose to invest $1 instead of spending it, you are casting a vote for your future self. You are choosing long-term freedom over short-term pleasure. This is a muscle. It is weak in most people. You must train it day by day with small decisions. The third principle is to take 100% responsibility for your financial life. The 99% are masters of the blame game. They blame the government. They blame the economy. They blame their boss. They blame their upbringing. This victim mentality is a poison. It strips you of your power. It convinces you that you are a passive pawn in a game you cannot win. The winner takes absolute radical ownership. They understand that their financial situation, no matter how dire, is their responsibility. The blame game ends today. Your past does not define your future. Your circumstances are your starting point, not your destiny. By taking full responsibility, you reclaim your power. You are no longer a victim. You are a creator. You are the one in the driver's seat. This shift from blame to responsibility is the moment you transform from a financial child into a financial adult. The fourth and final principle of the wealth mindset is to see wealth not as a means to buy more stuff, but as a tool for freedom. The 99% dream of being rich so they can have a bigger house and a faster car. They dream of a life of luxurious consumption. The winner dreams of being wealthy so they can have options, the freedom to walk away from a job they hate, the freedom to spend their time on work that is meaningful to them, the freedom to weather any financial storm without fear, the freedom to be generous and help others. When freedom, not luxury, is your goal, your financial decisions become much clearer and much more powerful. You are no longer trying to impress other people. You are trying to buy back your own life. This is the foundation. These four pillars, owner not consumer, delayed gratification, 100% responsibility, and freedom over luxury, are the bedrock upon which your entire financial fortress will be built. You must meditate on these principles, write them down, review them daily. This is not a one-time intellectual exercise. This is the beginning of a lifelong process of reprogramming your own mind. Your new mindset is your first and most important asset. Do not move to the next chapter until you have committed, fully and completely, to making this mindset your own. Chapter 2: The Brutal Truth, Confronting Your Financial Reality. Now that you have committed to forging a new mindset, it is time for the second step. This step is often the most painful, the most avoided, and the most crucial. It is the step of confronting the brutal, unvarnished truth of your current financial situation. You cannot create a map to your desired destination if you do not have the courage to put a big, red pin on exactly where you are standing right now. Most people, the 99%, live in a state of willful financial ignorance. They are afraid to look at their bank statements. They have a vague, anxious feeling about their debt, but they don't know the exact numbers. They operate on a system of financial hope. They hope there's enough money in the account to cover the next bill. This is not a strategy, it is a surrender. It is living life as a passenger with a blindfold on, hoping the driver knows where they are going. You will not do this. Your new identity as a wealth builder demands clarity. Clarity is power. You must be willing to turn on the lights and look at the mess in the room, no matter how scary it is. This process is about gathering data, not judgment. You are a scientist, and you are simply collecting the facts of your financial life. The first fact you need is your income. This seems simple, but many people don't know it. What is the exact, after-tax amount of money that you bring home every single month? Not your gross salary, but the net amount that actually hits your bank account. If your income is variable, you need to calculate your average monthly income over the past 6 to 12 months. Get this number, write it down. This is the amount of ammunition you have each month. The second fact you need is your expenses. For the next 30 days, you must track every single dollar you spend. Every coffee, every subscription, every grocery bill, every impulse buy, every single penny. This is non-negotiable. You can use an app, a spreadsheet, or a simple notebook. It doesn't matter. The act of tracking forces you to become conscious of the unconscious spending habits that are sabotaging your progress. The 99% will resist this. It feels like a chore. It feels restrictive. That resistance is the feeling of your old consumer self fighting back. Push through it. You are simply gathering data. At the end of 30 days, you will categorize this spending. Housing, transportation, food, debt payments, entertainment, etc. This is where the truth will be revealed. You will see, in black and white, exactly where your army of dollars has been going. You will identify the money leaks, the small, habitual expenses that are draining your resources. This document is not a tool for shame. It is a tool for empowerment. It is the diagnostic report that will allow you to perform surgery on your financial life. The third and most important fact you need is your net worth. This is the ultimate scorecard of your financial health. Your net worth is a very simple calculation. It is the value of everything you own, your assets, minus the value of everything you owe, your liabilities. Most people have never calculated this number. They are terrified of what it might say. That fear is your enemy. You must face it. To calculate your assets, you will list everything you own that has significant value. This includes the cash in your bank accounts, the current value of any investments you might have, the market value of your home, if you own one, the value of your car, and any other significant valuables. Be realistic and conservative with your estimates. To calculate your liabilities, you will list every single dollar you owe to anyone. This includes your mortgage balance, your credit card debt, list each card separately, your student loan balance, your car loan balance, and any personal loans. You need the exact up-to-date numbers. Now you do the math. Total assets, total liabilities equals your net worth. For many people starting from nothing, this number will be 0. For many more, it will be negative. You might be worth negative $20,000. When you see this number, you will feel a punch in the gut. This is normal. Allow yourself to feel it, but do not allow yourself to feel shame or despair. This number is not a judgment on your worth as a human being. It is just a number. It is your starting line. From this day forward, your single most important financial mission is to make this number go up every single month. That is the entire game. The 99% focus on their income. The winner focuses on their net worth. Why? Because income is fleeting. You can have a high income and a negative net worth if you spend it all on liabilities. Net worth is the true measure of your financial progress. It is the tangible result of your financial habits. Calculating this number is a profound and transformative act. It is the moment you stop guessing and start knowing. It is the moment you replace anxiety with clarity. This is your new starting point. You have your income, your expenses, and your net worth. You have the brutal, honest truth. This truth is not your destiny, it is your data. It is the raw material from which you will now begin to build. You have faced the beast. Now it is time to tame it. In the next chapter, we will take this data and use it to build your first and most powerful tool of financial control. Chapter 3: Seize Control, the Art of the Budget. We have arrived at a word that makes most people cringe: budget. The very sound of it conjures up feelings of restriction, of deprivation, of being told no. The 99% view a budget as a financial straitjacket, a punishment for past spending mistakes. This is why most budgets fail within the first month. They are built on a foundation of negative emotion. We are going to permanently destroy that idea. From this moment forward, you will no longer use the word budget. You will call it your freedom plan, because that is what it is. A budget is not about restriction. It is about intention. It is not a cage. It is the blueprint for your escape. It is the single most powerful tool you have for seizing control of your financial life and telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Your freedom plan is the system for deploying your army of dollars with purpose. It is you, acting as the general, consciously deciding which battles are important and allocating your resources to win them. Without this plan, your money is a disorganized mob, wandering aimlessly and getting picked off by the enemy forces of impulse buys and mindless subscriptions. With this plan, it becomes a disciplined, effective army, working in unison to achieve your primary objective: increasing your net worth. So how do we build this plan? We use the data we gathered in the last chapter. You know your exact monthly income. You know your exact monthly expenses. The system we will use is called a zero-based plan. The philosophy is simple: income minus expenses equals zero. This does not mean you spend all your money. It means that every single dollar that comes in is assigned a specific job before the month begins. There are no leftover dollars. Every soldier has its orders. You will take a piece of paper or open a spreadsheet. At the top, you will write your total monthly net income. Now, you will start giving every single one of those dollars a job, subtracting from the total as you go. The jobs fall into a few key categories. The first category is giving. If being charitable is a value of yours, you allocate a portion here. The second and most important category for our purposes is paying yourself first. This is the cornerstone of building wealth from nothing. Before you pay your landlord, before you pay the electric company, before you pay for groceries, you pay your future self. This is your wealth-building line item. In the beginning, this might be a tiny amount. It might be $50. It might be $25. The amount is less important than the habit. You are psychologically rewiring your brain to make your financial future your number one priority, not an afterthought. This money is designated for your savings and investment goals, which we will detail in later chapters. The third category is your core living expenses, your needs. This is your housing, your utilities, your transportation, and your groceries. You use the data from your 30-day tracking to make these numbers as realistic as possible. The fourth category is your Fun and lifestyle fund, your wants. This is where the magic of the freedom plan comes in. This is not about cutting out all joy from your life. That is a recipe for failure. Instead, you consciously decide how much you will allocate to things like dining out, entertainment, and hobbies. And here is the beautiful part. When you spend money from this category, you can do it with zero guilt. The plan gave you permission to spend it. The 99% feel a constant, low-grade guilt every time they spend money on something fun, because they know they should be saving. Your freedom plan eliminates this. It allows you to enjoy your life within the boundaries you have set for yourself. The final category is for your other financial goals, like debt repayment or saving for a specific purchase. You allocate your remaining dollars to these jobs until your income minus all your allocated expenses equals zero. That's it. That is your plan for the month. It is a proactive declaration of your financial intentions. Now, the hard part. You must live by it. This requires you to track your spending throughout the month to ensure you are staying within your plan. This will feel clunky at first. You will overspend in some categories and underspend in others. That is normal. Your first 3 months of using a freedom plan are about learning and adjusting. It is not about perfection. It is about building the muscle of financial awareness. The 99% let their feelings and impulses dictate their spending. They are reactive. A bad day leads to an expensive treat-yourself moment that they can't afford. You are building a system that separates your financial decisions from your fleeting emotions. You are becoming proactive. You are the CEO of your own personal economy, and this plan is your operating budget. It is the tool that gives you absolute control. It stops the money leaks. It eliminates financial anxiety because you are no longer guessing. You are knowing. And most importantly, it guarantees that you are making progress towards your goal of building wealth every single month because you have paid yourself first. This is not a life sentence of deprivation. It is a short-term training camp. As you destroy your debt and increase your income, which we will cover next, your plan will become more flexible. But the principle will always remain the same. You will tell every single dollar where to go. This is the first, non-negotiable act of a wealth builder. Seize control. Build your freedom plan. It is your map to a world of financial power and peace of mind. Chapter 4: Building Your Fortress. The Emergency Fund. You have a new mindset. You have a clear picture of your financial reality. You have a freedom plan that puts you in control of your money. You are on the offensive. But before we can go deeper into enemy territory to attack debt and build investments, we must first secure our base. We must build a fortress. This fortress is your emergency fund. An emergency fund is a sum of money kept in a separate, easily accessible savings account that is to be used for one thing and one thing only: true emergencies. This is not an "I want a new TV" fund. This is not a "I had a bad day" fund. This is a life just threw a massive, unexpected punch at my face fund. For the 99%, a financial emergency is a catastrophe. A sudden job loss, an unexpected medical bill, a major car repair. These events are not just stressful, they are financially devastating. They are forced to go into high-interest credit card debt, to borrow money from family, or to cash out their retirement savings, setting them back years in their wealth-building journey. One single stroke of bad luck can completely derail their entire financial life. This is because they have no buffer. They are living on a financial knife's edge, with zero margin for error. The winner, the wealth builder, understands that emergencies are not a possibility, they are an inevitability. Life is unpredictable. Things will go wrong. Therefore, they build a financial shock absorber. They build a fortress wall that can withstand the inevitable attacks of life. Your emergency fund is this fortress. It is the single most important financial asset you can have in the beginning of your journey. It is what allows you to handle a crisis without going into debt. It is what gives you the peace of mind to take calculated risks in your career. It is the foundation of security upon which all future wealth is built. The first goal for your emergency fund, your starter emergency fund, is to save $1,000. This is your first, primary savings goal. In your freedom plan, every single dollar that is not going to your absolute essential needs should be aggressively channeled towards this $1,000 goal. This is priority one. You might need to sell things you don't need. You might need to pick up a side job for a few weeks. You must build this initial buffer with a sense of extreme urgency. That $1,000 creates a small but powerful shield. It can cover a car repair, a dental emergency, or a broken appliance. It is the difference between a minor inconvenience and a major debt-inducing crisis. This money must be kept in a separate savings account, preferably at a different bank than your primary checking account. Why? To reduce temptation. If it's sitting in your main account, it's too easy to borrow from it for non-emergencies. By creating a small amount of friction, by making it a separate account you have to consciously transfer money from, you are protecting your fortress from its greatest threat, your own impulsive behavior. This account should be a high-yield savings account if possible, so it can earn some interest, but liquidity is the most important factor. You need to be able to access this money quickly in a true emergency. Once you have saved your starter $1,000, your focus will shift to attacking your debt, which we will cover in the next chapter. However, once your high-interest debt is gone, you will return to your fortress and build it up to its full strength. The ultimate goal for your emergency fund is to have enough money to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. To calculate this number, you will look at your freedom plan. Add up the monthly cost of your absolute needs: housing, utilities, transportation, and food. Multiply that number by 3 to 6. That is your target. For most people, this will be a significant amount of money, perhaps $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000. The thought of saving this much can feel overwhelming. Do not let it paralyze you. You will build this fortress one brick at a time, with the same consistent, systematic approach you are applying to everything else. This fully funded emergency fund is the ultimate source of financial peace. It is your get-off-my-back money. It means that if you lose your job, you don't have to panic and take the first terrible offer that comes along. You have a 6-month runway to find the right opportunity. It means that when the furnace breaks, you can feel annoyed but not terrified. It is the buffer that allows you to navigate the ups and downs of life with confidence and calm. The 99% will see this as money that's not doing anything. They will be tempted to invest it to get a higher return. This is a massive mistake. The job of your emergency fund is not to make you rich. Its job is to keep you from becoming poor. It is an insurance policy against disaster. Its return is not measured in interest, but in the peace of mind and the protection it provides. Do not skip this step. Do not underestimate its importance. Building your $1,000 starter emergency fund is your first mission. Attack it with everything you've got. It is the first wall of your fortress. It is the foundation of your security. It is your first great victory on the path from nothing to something. Chapter 5: Destroying Your Chains. The Debt Annihilation Plan. There is a force that is actively working to keep you poor. It is an anchor tied around your ankles, dragging you to the bottom of the financial ocean every time you try to swim to the surface. That force is debt, specifically high-interest consumer debt. Credit cards, personal loans, payday loans. These are not just financial products. They are chains. They are a system designed to transfer your future wealth from your pocket into the pockets of the lenders. The 99% have normalized this. They see debt as a normal part of life, a necessary tool to get the things they want now. They carry a credit card balance from month to month, barely aware of the double-digit interest rates that are silently eating away at their future. They are willingly participating in their own financial imprisonment. As a wealth builder, you must adopt a new, radical mindset. You are allergic to debt. You must develop a visceral, almost violent hatred for it. You must see it as the enemy that it is. And you must create a systematic plan to destroy it with the same urgency you would use to put out a fire in your own home. Because that is what debt is. It is a fire, consuming your single most powerful wealth-building tool, your income. Every dollar you send to a credit card company is a soldier that could have been fighting for your freedom. Now that you have built your $1,000 starter emergency fund, the war on debt begins. This is your primary financial focus. All of your extra income, every dollar you can squeeze from your freedom plan, will be deployed as a weapon against this enemy. We will use a method called the debt snowball. There are other methods, but this one is the most effective for most people because it is designed to leverage the power of psychological wins to keep you motivated. Here is how it works. Step 1. You will list all of your debts, excluding your mortgage, from the smallest balance to the largest balance. You will write down the total amount owed and the minimum monthly payment for each one. Do not worry about the interest rates for this step. We are focused on the balances. Step 2. You will continue to make the minimum payment on all of your debts. This is crucial to avoid late fees and penalties. Step 3. You will take every single extra dollar you have and throw it at the smallest debt on your list. You will attack this one debt with a furious, single-minded intensity. You are not spreading your extra payments around. You are focusing all of your firepower on a single target. Why the smallest debt first? Because you will pay it off the fastest. And when you pay off that first small debt, you will experience a powerful psychological victory. You will have tasted blood. You will have proven to yourself that you can do this. This win will give you the motivation and the momentum to keep going. This is the snowball effect. Step 4. Once that smallest debt is completely eliminated, you will take the entire amount you were paying on it, the minimum payment plus all the extra you were throwing at it, and you will roll that amount over to the next smallest debt on your list. Now, you are attacking the second debt with its own minimum payment plus the full payment from the first debt. You are hitting it with a much larger shovel. You will see its balance begin to drop much faster. When that debt is destroyed, you take its full payment and roll it onto the next one. Your snowball of payments gets larger and larger with each debt you eliminate, and you start to knock out the bigger debts with shocking speed. The debt snowball is a powerful system because it turns a long, discouraging slog into an exciting and motivating game. You are not just paying bills, you are conquering enemies, one by one. To execute this plan, you must be ruthless. This is a period of intense, short-term sacrifice for a massive long-term gain. You must go through your freedom plan with a fine-toothed comb. Can you cut your grocery bill? Can you cancel subscriptions? Can you stop eating out completely for a few months? Every dollar you free up is another weapon in your arsenal. You must also focus on the other side of the equation, increasing your income. Can you work overtime? Can you get a temporary side hustle delivering pizzas or driving for a rideshare service? Remember, this is not forever. This is a focused, all-out war for a specific period of time. You are trying to shorten the timeline to your freedom. While you are executing the debt snowball, you must make a solemn vow. You will not take on any new consumer debt. You will cut up your credit cards if you have to. You will pay for things with cash or a debit card. You cannot win a war if you are still inviting the enemy into your camp. The 99% will tell you this is extreme. They will tell you that you need a credit score, that debt is a useful tool. This is the talk of the debtor. You are becoming a builder. Once you are debt-free, you will have a new, incredible power. All of that money you were sending to the banks and credit card companies every single month, hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars, is now yours to command. You have liberated your greatest asset, your income. You have broken your chains. This is the moment you go from playing defense to playing offense. This is the moment your wealth-building journey truly begins to accelerate. Destroying your debt is the single most powerful and fastest way to increase your net worth when you are starting from nothing. It is a guaranteed return on your investment. See it as the enemy. Create your plan and go to war. Your freedom depends on it. Chapter 6. Expanding the engine, how to increase your income. You are now operating from a position of control. You have a plan for your money, a fortress to protect you, and a strategy to eliminate the anchor of debt. You have optimized your defense, but a great general knows that you cannot win a war by only playing defense. To truly accelerate your journey from nothing to wealth, you must go on the offensive. And the greatest weapon in your offensive arsenal is your income. There is a limit to how much you can save. You can only cut your expenses down to zero. But there is no theoretical limit to how much you can earn. The 99% focus all of their energy on cutting coupons and saving $5 on a coffee. They are playing a small game of scarcity. The winner understands that while cutting expenses is a critical first step, the real, exponential growth comes from expanding their income. They play a big game of abundance. Your ability to earn money is a direct reflection of the value you provide to the marketplace. We've discussed this before, but now we must make it practical. If you want to earn more, you must become more valuable. It is that simple. There are two primary paths to increasing your income: maximizing your value in your current job and creating new streams of income outside of it. Let's start with your primary occupation. Most people treat their job as a place where they trade their time for a paycheck. They do what is required of them. They meet expectations. They do the bare minimum to not get fired. They are a commodity, an easily replaceable cog in the machine, and commodities are always paid the lowest possible price. To increase your income, you must stop acting like a commodity and start acting like an indispensable asset. You must become a problem solver. Look around your company. What are the biggest problems? What are the biggest frustrations your boss has? What are the areas of friction that no one else wants to deal with? Your mission is to run towards those problems. You must become the person who volunteers for the difficult assignments, the one who takes the initiative to create a better system, the one who consistently delivers results that go above and beyond what is expected. This requires you to invest in your own skills. You must become a lifelong learner, as we've discussed. What is the single skill that, if you mastered it, would make you twice as valuable to your employer? Is it public speaking? Is it data analysis? Is it a specific software? Identify that skill and then create a consistent plan to master it. Use your evenings and weekends not for passive consumption of entertainment, but for the active creation of a more valuable version of yourself. When you have made yourself undeniably valuable, when you have a track record of solving major problems and delivering exceptional results, you are no longer in a position of begging for a raise. You are in a position of power to negotiate for a promotion or a significant salary increase, backed by a portfolio of your achievements. And if your current company won't recognize your new value, another company will. The second path is to create additional streams of income. In today's economy, relying on a single source of income from one employer is a high-risk strategy. It is like a farmer planting only one crop. A single blight can wipe out their entire harvest. The wealth builder diversifies. They create multiple streams of income so that if one dries up, they are not left destitute. This is where you can turn your skills, your hobbies, and your knowledge into assets that pay you. This is the world of the side hustle, but you must be strategic about it. The 99% trade their extra time for a little extra money in a linear fashion, like driving for a rideshare service. This is a good way to generate cash quickly to attack debt, but it is not a scalable, long-term wealth-building strategy. You are still just trading your time for money. The winner looks for side hustles that have the potential to become scalable assets. Can you take your knowledge and create an online course? Can you take your passion for a topic and start a YouTube channel or a blog that can earn ad revenue? Can you offer a freelance service, like graphic design, writing, or web development, where you can eventually raise your rates and hire others? You are looking for opportunities to build something that is not directly tied to your hours. You are building a small second engine. This requires a mindset shift. You must stop seeing your free time as leisure time and start seeing it as building time. This is a season of your life where you must be willing to outwork everyone around you. It is a period of intense, focused effort to create a new source of fuel for your wealth-building machine. You might have to sacrifice some weekends. You might have to wake up an hour earlier. This is the price of admission to the world of financial freedom. The 99% are not willing to pay it. They prefer the comfort of the couch. You must be different. Combine these two strategies. Become so valuable in your primary job that you command a top-tier salary. At the same time, use your extra hours to build a second, and then maybe a third stream of income. The income from your job pays for your present. The income from your side hustles builds your future. As these streams of income grow, you will have more and more ammunition to deploy into your investments. You will be able to accelerate your journey to wealth at a speed that the person who is only focused on cutting expenses can never dream of. Stop playing a small game. Stop being a victim of your paycheck. You are in control of your income because you are in control of the value you create. Go on the offensive. Become indispensable. Build your engines. Chapter 7. The Crossover Point, From Saver to Investor. You have reached a pivotal moment in your journey. You have forged a new mindset. You have seized control of your spending. You have built a defensive fortress with your emergency fund. You have destroyed the chains of consumer debt, and you have expanded the engine of your income. You are now operating from a position of incredible financial power and stability. You have a monthly surplus. You have a positive cash flow. Now, the most important question of all arises. What do you do with that surplus? The 99% will answer this question by saving it. They will put the money in a savings account at their bank where it will sit, safe and sound, earning a microscopic amount of interest. They are savers. And while being a saver is 1,000 times better than being a debtor, it is a strategy that will never lead to true wealth. Why? Because of a silent, invisible thief that is constantly eroding the value of your money. That thief is inflation. Inflation is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising, and subsequently, the purchasing power of currency is falling. If your money in a savings account is earning 1% interest, but inflation is running at 3%, you are not earning money. You are losing 2% of your purchasing power every single year. Your money is sitting still on a downward moving escalator. Savers are losers in the long run. The winner, the wealth builder, understands this. They know that to build true generational wealth, you must cross a critical threshold. You must evolve from being a saver to being an investor. An investor does not just store their money. An investor puts their money to work. They deploy their army of dollars into assets that have the potential to grow at a rate significantly higher than inflation. They are not just trying to preserve their money, they are trying to multiply it. This is the crossover point. It is the moment you stop just storing your seeds and you start planting them in a fertile field where they can grow into a forest. What does it mean to invest? At its core, investing is the act of buying a piece of a business, a stock, or lending money to a business or government, a bond with the expectation of generating a profit. When you buy a share of a company's stock, you are not just buying a piece of paper or a digital ticker symbol. You are buying a fractional ownership stake in that business. You become a part owner. If that business succeeds, if it grows its profits and expands its operations, the value of your ownership stake will increase. You will participate in the success of the global economy. This is the single most powerful mechanism for wealth creation ever invented. For centuries, this power was reserved for the wealthy. But today, thanks to technology and financial innovation, anyone with even a small amount of money can become an owner of the world's greatest companies. The 99% are terrified of investing. They see the stock market as a dangerous, complex casino where you can lose all your money in an instant. This fear is driven by the media, which loves to sensationalize market crashes, and by a fundamental misunderstanding of what investing is. They are confusing investing with gambling. Gambling is putting your money on a short-term speculative bet, hopping for a quick profit. Investing is a long-term, disciplined process of buying ownership in high-quality businesses and holding them for decades, allowing the power of the compound effect to work its magic. Yes, in the short term, the stock market is volatile. It goes up and down. But over the long term, the trajectory of the market has been relentlessly upward, driven by human innovation, population growth, and the fundamental desire of businesses to create value and earn a profit. You must be willing to embrace this long-term perspective. You are not a day trader. You are not trying to time the market. You are a business owner, and you are in it for the long haul. The transition from a saver's mindset to an investor's mindset can be scary. You are moving your money from the perceived safety of a bank account to the volatility of the market. You must educate yourself to overcome this fear. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Understand the basics of what you are investing in. Your knowledge is the antidote to your fear, but do not let the pursuit of knowledge become a form of procrastination. You do not need to be an expert to get started. In the next chapter, we will discuss a simple, proven, and incredibly effective strategy for investing that requires almost no expertise at all. The key takeaway for this chapter is the philosophical shift. You must realize that saving alone is a losing game. You must accept that to build real wealth, your money needs to go to work in a system that can outpace inflation and generate real growth. You must have the courage to step onto the field and become an owner, not just a spectator. in the game of capitalism. This is the moment your journey kicks into high gear. This is where you start to leverage the power of the global economy to build your freedom. This is the crossover from financial stability to true wealth creation. Embrace your new identity. You are no longer just a saver. You are an investor. Chapter 8: The Automatic Millionaire Machine. Simple investing for the long term. You have made the critical mindset shift from saver to investor. You are ready to put your money to work. But the world of investing seems vast and intimidating. There are thousands of stocks, bonds, and funds to choose from. The financial news is a confusing barrage of conflicting opinions and complex charts. The 99% get paralyzed at this stage. They are hit with analysis paralysis. They are so afraid of making the wrong choice that they end up making no choice at all, and their money continues to languish in a low-yield savings account, being eaten alive by inflation. You will not fall into this trap. We are going to bypass the complexity completely. You do not need to be a stock-picking genius. You do not need to follow the market every day. You are going to build a simple, elegant, and incredibly powerful automatic millionaire machine. This system is based on a single Nobel Prize-winning idea. Instead of trying to beat the market, you should simply own the market. The strategy is to invest in low-cost, broadly diversified index funds. What is an index fund? An index fund is a type of mutual fund or exchange-traded fund, ETF, that holds a portfolio of stocks designed to match the composition and performance of a financial market index, such as the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is an index that represents the 500 largest and most successful companies in the United States. When you buy a share of an S&P 500 index fund, you are not buying one company. You are buying a tiny slice of all 500 companies. You become a part owner of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and hundreds of other powerhouse businesses, all in a single transaction. Why is this so powerful? First, it provides instant diversification. Your risk is spread out across hundreds of companies in many different industries. If one company fails, it has a negligible impact on your overall portfolio. This eliminates the company-specific risk that comes with trying to pick individual stocks. The 99% gamble on one or two hot stocks they heard about. The winner owns the whole haystack, not the needle. Second, it is incredibly low cost. Because index funds are passively managed, they simply track an index. They don't have a highly paid manager trying to pick stocks. Their fees or expense ratios are extremely low. This is a huge deal. High fees are a cancer that will eat away at your returns over time. By choosing low-cost index funds, you keep more of your money working for you. Third, it has a proven track record of outperforming the majority of professional money managers. Study after study has shown that over the long term, the vast majority of highly paid active fund managers fail to beat the returns of a simple, low-cost index fund. By choosing to invest in index funds, you are virtually guaranteeing yourself better performance than most of the so-called experts on Wall Street. So, how do you build your machine? The process is simple. Step 1. You will open a retirement investment account. In the United States, this could be a 401(k) through your employer, or an individual retirement account, IRA, that you open yourself at a low-cost brokerage firm like Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. These accounts offer significant tax advantages that will supercharge your growth. Step 2. Inside this account, you will select one or two broadly diversified, low-cost index funds. A simple S&P 500 index fund is a fantastic place to start. A total stock market index fund is even better, as it gives you ownership in thousands of U.S. companies, large and small. You can also add a total international stock market index fund to diversify globally. A simple two-fund portfolio of a U.S. total market fund and an international total market fund is all the complexity most people will ever need. Step 3. This is the most important step. You will automate your contributions. You will set up an automatic transfer from your checking account into your investment account every single month or every payday. This is the automatic part of the machine. It runs without your input, without your emotions, without your fear or greed. This strategy is called dollar cost averaging. By investing the same amount of money on a regular schedule, you automatically buy more shares when the market is down when prices are cheap, and fewer shares when the market is up when prices are expensive. It removes the temptation to try to time the market, which is a loser's game. Your only job is to set up the machine and then commit to never, ever turning it off, especially when the market is scary. When the market crashes, the 99% panic and sell, locking in their losses. The winner sees a crash for what it is, a sale. It's a Black Friday for stocks. They know their automatic contributions are now buying shares at a massive discount. They have the discipline and the long-term perspective to stay the course, knowing that historically, every market crash has been followed by a recovery and a new all-time high. This is the entire strategy. It is simple. It is boring. And it is the most proven and reliable path to building multi-million-dollar wealth for the average person. You are leveraging the power of diversification, low costs, automation, and the long-term growth of the global economy. You are building a machine that will work for you day and night for the rest of your life, powered by the magic of the compound effect. Do not let its simplicity fool you. This is the secret. Open your account. Choose your simple, low-cost funds. Automate your contributions. And then get on with your life, confident in the knowledge that you have built a powerful, unstoppable engine that is quietly building your fortune in the background. Chapter 9. Guard your gold, protecting and ensuring your wealth. You are now a formidable force. You are a disciplined builder constructing a magnificent financial fortress brick by brick. Your income is growing, your debt is gone, and your automatic investing machine is humming along, compounding your wealth in the background. As your net worth grows, a new and critical priority emerges. You must learn to protect what you have built. The world is full of risks. A single catastrophic event, A lawsuit, a major health crisis, a premature death can wipe out a lifetime of diligent saving and investing. The 99% are financially fragile. They build their house on a foundation of sand with no thought to the storms that are inevitably coming. They operate on hope. They hope they won't get sick. They hope they won't get sued. Hope is not a strategy. The winner, the wealth builder, is an anti-fragile strategist. They don't just hope for the best, they prepare for the worst. They understand that protecting their wealth is just as important as building it. This is the unsexy, but absolutely vital world of insurance and asset protection. Insurance is a concept that most people misunderstand. They see it as an expense. The winner sees it for what it is, a tool for transferring catastrophic financial risk from their personal balance sheet to the balance sheet of a massive insurance company. You pay a small, predictable premium to protect yourself from a large, unpredictable, and potentially bankrupting loss. You must ensure you have the proper insurance coverage in all the key areas of your life. The first is health insurance. In many countries, a major medical event is the #1 cause of personal bankruptcy. A single hospital stay can result in hundreds of thousands of dollars in bills. Going without adequate health insurance is not a calculated risk. It is a game of financial Russian roulette. You must have it. The second is auto and home or renter's insurance. Specifically, you need to pay close attention to the liability portion of these policies. As your net worth grows, you become a more attractive target for lawsuits. If you cause a serious car accident, the liability coverage on your auto insurance is what protects your assets. The state minimum coverage is woefully inadequate. You should have liability coverage that is at least equal to your net worth. To get even more protection, you should purchase an umbrella liability policy. An umbrella policy is a separate insurance policy that provides additional liability coverage above and beyond what your auto and home policies provide, often for a very low cost. This is a non-negotiable for anyone with a growing net worth. The third is term life insurance. If you have anyone who depends on your income, a spouse, children, you must have life insurance. This is not for you, it is for them. It ensures that if you die prematurely, your family will be financially secure and will not have to suffer a financial catastrophe on top of an emotional one. You should purchase term life insurance, which is pure insurance for a specific period, like 20 or 30 years, and it is very inexpensive. Do not get talked into whole life or other complex insurance as an investment products. Buy term and invest the difference. That is the winning strategy. The fourth is disability insurance. Your single greatest asset, especially in the early stages of your journey, is your ability to earn an income. What would happen if you became sick or injured and could not work for an extended period? Disability insurance replaces a portion of your income in such a scenario. It is a crucial, yet often overlooked, part of a solid financial plan. Beyond insurance, you must also practice good financial hygiene to protect yourself from fraud and theft. Use strong, unique passwords for all of your financial accounts. Enable two-factor authentication. Be skeptical of unsolicited emails and phone calls asking for personal information. You have worked too hard to build your wealth to have it stolen by a scammer. Finally, as your wealth grows to a significant level, you must consider your estate plan. This involves creating a will or a trust to ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes after you die. It is the ultimate act of financial responsibility and love for your family. The 99% ignore these things. It's not exciting. It forces them to confront their own mortality and the risks of the world. They put it off until it is too late. You are a builder. A builder not only constructs the building, they also install the fire sprinklers and the security systems. They build it to last. Take a systematic inventory of your insurance coverage. Are there any gaps? Are your liability limits high enough? Do you have the proper protections in place for your family? This is not the most glamorous step in the wealth-building process, but it is one of the most important. Guard your gold. Protect your fortress. Because the wealth you can protect is the only wealth you truly have. Chapter 10. The Final Evolution, from Wealth Builder to Wealth Creator. You have journeyed from nothing to a position of incredible financial strength. You have a powerful mindset, a disciplined system for managing your money, a growing army of investments, and a fortress of protection around it all. You have achieved financial stability and are well on your way to financial independence. For the 99%, this would be the finish line. The dream would be to accumulate enough to simply stop working and live a life of leisure. But you are not the 99%. You are a winner, and a winner understands that the game is never truly over. There is one final, profound evolution to make. It is the shift from being a disciplined wealth builder to becoming a visionary wealth creator. A wealth builder follows a proven path. They work a job, they save diligently, and they invest consistently in the stock market. This is a fantastic, reliable strategy that will make you a millionaire over time. It is the strategy we have spent most of this audiobook perfecting. A wealth creator, however, begins to think on a different level. They are no longer just participating in the system of wealth creation. They are building the systems themselves. They evolve from being an investor in other people's businesses to being the creator of their own. They move from simply acquiring assets to building them from scratch. This is the realm of entrepreneurship, of real estate investing, of building your own intellectual property. This is where wealth can be created not just over decades, but in a matter of years. This is the path from being a millionaire to potentially creating generational wealth. Why would you consider this path when the first path is so reliable? Because it is the ultimate expression of your financial power and your personal potential. It is about moving from a passive role to an active one. It is about creating value in the world on a massive scale, not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of your customers, your employees, and your community. This path is not for everyone. It involves more risk, more stress, and a much higher demand on your skills and your resilience. But you, having come from nothing, having built your foundation brick by brick, are uniquely qualified to take it on. You have the discipline. You have the grit. You have a solid financial base that allows you to take calculated risks. The first step into the world of a wealth creator is often an extension of the work you did to increase your income. That side hustle you started to pay off debt, that could be the seed of a real business. Can you take your freelance service and turn it into an agency? Can you take your online course and build a whole educational platform around it? You are looking for ways to scale your value beyond your own time and effort, to build a system that generates revenue independent of your direct involvement. Another path is real estate investing. By purchasing an investment property, you are not just buying a house, you are buying a business. You are acquiring an asset that can provide cash flow through rent, appreciate in value, offer tax advantages, and have its mortgage paid down by your tenants. It is a powerful, tangible way to build wealth. The world of a wealth creator is also the world of intellectual property. Can you write a book, create a piece of software, or license a patent that provides value and generates royalties for years to come? You are creating an asset out of an idea. This final evolution is also a profound shift in mindset. You begin to see problems not as annoyances, but as opportunities. Every problem in the world is a business waiting to be created. You train your mind to constantly ask, how could I solve this problem at scale? This is the mindset that creates immense value, and as we know, where value flows, money follows. This is also the stage where you begin to think about your legacy. Wealth is not just about what you accumulate, it is about what you can contribute. The ultimate purpose of building wealth is to have the freedom and the resources to make a significant, positive impact on the world. It is about funding the causes you believe in, creating opportunities for others, and leaving the world a better place than you found it. This is the final step. It is the pinnacle of the mountain you began climbing when you were standing on zero. You evolved from a consumer to a saver, from a saver to an investor, from an investor to a wealth builder. And now you have the opportunity to evolve into a wealth creator. You have the skills, you have the foundation, you have the mindset. You have proven that you can build wealth from nothing. Now the only question that remains is, what will you create with the wealth you have built? The journey is far from over. In many ways, it has just begun. The closing. You began this journey standing on zero. You were armed with nothing but a desire for something more, a feeling of frustration with a system that seemed designed to keep you stuck. Now look at how far you have come. You have been given the blueprint, the step-by-step formula to rewrite your financial destiny. You now know what the 99% will never understand, that wealth is not a matter of luck or birthright. It is a matter of discipline, of system, of mindset. It is a fortress that is built, one brick at a time, by ordinary people who make an extraordinary commitment. The path is simple, but it is not easy. It requires you to wage war against a lifetime of consumerist programming. It requires you to choose the long-term freedom of tomorrow over the cheap, instant gratification of today. It requires you to have the courage to face the truth of your finances, the grit to destroy your debt, and the patience to let your investments compound over decades. Most people will not do this. They will hear the principles, nod in agreement, and then go back to their old ways. The pull of instant gratification and the comfort of their old identity will be too strong. But you are not most people. You have listened to this entire blueprint because you are a builder. The spark of the creator, the owner, the architect is within you. And that spark is now a flame. The journey from here is up to you. This audiobook is the map, but you must walk the path. You must build your freedom plan. You must save your emergency fund. You must attack your debt. You must automate your investments. You must do the work. There will be days you want to quit. There will be times you feel like your progress is too slow. In those moments, I want you to remember where you started. I want you to remember the feeling of standing on zero. And I want you to look at the undeniable evidence of your progress, the debt that is disappearing, the emergency fund that is growing, the investment account that is compounding. You are no longer the person who started this journey. You have cast too many votes for your new identity. You are not someone who hopes for wealth. You are a wealth builder. It is who you are. It is what you do. The financial freedom you seek is not a distant dream. It is the inevitable result of the daily, disciplined actions you are now equipped to take. It is a future you will not win, but one you will build with your own two hands. The time for hopping is over. The time for building is now. Take your first step. Lay your first brick. Your empire awaits.